There's a disadvantage that false religion has over true religion many times. False religion can be awfully enticing. Hi, I'm Aaron Johnson here with the Middle Park Church of Christ in Granby, Colorado. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the account of Othniel in the book of Judges and drawing out just one piece of application. And so, if you're not familiar already, the account of the judge of Othniel, he's kind of one of the minor judges, but he's the first one. So chapter 3, starting in verse 7 and then ending in verse 11, is the account of Othniel. If you would like to pause the video and read that, I would encourage you to do so. But just one piece of this text that I want to key in on, and that is verse 7. It says, "And the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. They forgot or disregarded the Lord their God and served the Baals and the Asherah." It's that last phrase, "and the Asherah," that I want to key in on. You ever wonder just why it was that Israel kept going after these false religions and these false gods? Well, I did a little bit of research on the Asherah, and here's what I found out. It turns out that Asherah was considered to be a goddess who was married to Baal. Now, Baal was supposed to be responsible for the fertility of the ground, among other things, and then Asherah was, among other things, supposed to be responsible for the fertility of human beings. Now, here is where things get a little risque. In Christianity and in other religions, there are various acts of devotion addressed to the divine. And those acts of devotion serve as our worship to the divine. And so within Christianity, you have singing. Singing is an act of devotion that we perform addressed to a deity, and that is worship. We pray. We partake of the Lord's Supper or communion. We give of our means. It's an act of devotion addressed to a deity. So, how would you worship Asherah, this fertility goddess? Well, you would engage in sexual activity. Hence, the temple prostitutes that we hear so much about in these idolatrous pagan religions. So think about this. On the one hand, you have the religion of the Israelites, very ceremonial. You have sacrifices of animals. You have the traveling to a particular spot to celebrate a particular feast. You have prayers, of course, and other things. And then on the other hand, you have this pagan religion in which you can go to a temple and engage in these sexual activities with a prostitute, and that is considered your worship. Well, that one over here with the pagan worship is a little more enticing. Daniel Block, in his commentary, puts it this way: "The Israelites had exchanged the worship of the living God for the service of wood and stone, mere figments of the depraved human imagination. The lofty theology, austere morality, and abstract cult of Yahwehism is replaced by the exciting fertility religion." That puts it rather well. It's the excitement, the fulfillment of the passions that these false religions offered. Now, today, we don't have a lot of those religions available, at least not where I'm from, here in America. But that's not to say that there are not enticing false religions. One that I have been thinking about in particular is the false religion of humanism, religious, secular humanism. Now, lest you think that I am just being pejorative in labeling humanism as a religion, something that they would push back on, this is the classification that they adopt for themselves. They classify themselves as a religion. Listen to the Secular Humanist Manifesto. Religious humanism considers the complete realization of human personality to be the end of man's life. and seeks its development and fulfillment in the here and now. This is the explanation of the humanists' social passion. They go on to say in their 13th tenet, quote, religious humanism maintains that all associations and institutions exist for the fulfillment of the human life. Human satisfaction and fulfillment are the end of humanity, the highest goal for humanity. Satisfaction and fulfillment. Whatever it is that gives you the most satisfaction, and they would say outside of harming other people, whatever gives you the most satisfaction, the most fulfillment, go for it. It's you. That's all you. That's what it's all about, is for you to be fulfilled in your dreams and aspirations and passions. That is the end, the highest aim that your life could possibly have. And so it makes sense, looking at the world through this lens, it makes sense why our social institutions and our social fabric have been enduring such seismic shifts as of late. I mean, probably the biggest institutional change that America has been responsible for in its own nation is the redefining of marriage, such that now it is no longer between a man and a woman, but just between consenting adults. At this point, it's still two consenting adults, but polyamory is being pushed, and I see no reason under humanism why polyamory, why multiple partners could not marry each other. And that's because institutions and associations are only created to serve the satisfaction of humanity. And so, if a one-man, one-woman marriage institution is not serving the satisfaction and fulfillment of humanity, no problem. We'll just change it to suit whatever we want. That's enticing. And it's not just at the institutional level that we're seeing this, although we are seeing it at the institutional level. We are also seeing it at the individual level. If human beings are the center of the universe, if our fulfillment and satisfaction are the highest ends that one could possibly achieve, it makes a lot of sense that individual identities would now be trumping over external realities because you're the center. Your fulfillment and satisfaction are the primary goals that we need to worry about. And so, individual identity trumps external reality. It's enticing. True religion, on the other hand, requires you to engage in lofty theology, to adhere to unbending morality, and to grab hold of a more abstract purpose for your life outside of yourself. You're not the center of the universe in true religion. Your current passions and desires do not form the ultimate end of your existence. You are not the arbiter of your life's meaning. What we're talking about here is the difference between candy and a home-cooked meal. Candy over here, super enticing, right? The home-cooked meal, well, maybe that's got vegetables on there. The candy is easy, exciting, empty, and ultimately corrosive. The home-cooked meal, on the other hand, is difficult. It takes effort. It's difficult. It's hard. It's satisfying. It's substantive. And it's nourishing. False religion is enticing. True religion is enlivening. False religion may offer you the satisfaction of your passions, but only true religion will satisfy your personality. Choose true religion.